Ashton Fowler joins us this morning. Ashton, City Councilman, District 1 in his second term as City Councilman. Ashton, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Good to have you with us. And, changes take place. We are in the second term as City Councilman. Lots of conversation about the pool versus a splash pad and all that kind of stuff. And we've had several people on to talk about your perspective on this. Let's begin with the splash pad.
All right. So, years ago before the current term, I guess my first term when we came in, we had the pool problems, drainage issues, piping, gunite, all that behind underground, needless to say. We fixed it 2 years in a row to get it ready for swimming season. Put in six figures each time to fix the problem, and it ended up being worse the following year. Then we got to, I don't know how long it had been happening, but it was brought to our attention. We're having $4,000 and $5,000 water bills, monthly water bills.
That's a little more than mine.
Right. I don't think anybody likes to pay that. So that was a contributing factor. We were having to do that every month, and just from the leaking pool. And you look back in Sylacauga's history, in the 40s we built the first pool, or to my knowledge, and then we built a new one where it's at now in the 80s. And now, 40 years later, it's starting to go downhill. A lot of knickknacks, they're needing to be fixed, and it's time to build a newer, bigger, better pool. So,
can this pool, because a lot of people are asking this, why not refix or revisit the remodeling of the current pool?
Yeah, so if we were to remodel the pool to make it brand new, it would definitely cost over $1 million. We would have to basically start from the ground up, just, like we're building a new one. We'd have to gut it, dig it all up, and put it back down. But that area is not, if we want a bigger pool, something like that, people may say, we don't need a bigger pool. We don't need warm-up lanes. We don't need a cooling down spot for meets and swim meets and stuff. But we would like to give that to our citizens. So if we want that acreage, that square footage there just wouldn't comply with what we have envisioned.
So we look now to a possible splash pad. Correct. Is that splash pad at that current location of the pool now?
Yes, that's where it will be. The thing with a splash pad is people are saying with the ground foundation's unstable, why are you putting something else there? Number one, we have to keep something there to keep it a viable park, because as you know, it's an LWCF grant. That's what we received to build that place, and that's a lifetime commitment. So if you don't keep it up, you end up potentially getting blackballed from the grant process from ADECA and the state funds, and over years that would be millions of dollars. So have to keep it up. With a splash pad, it's filled in. There's no 10-foot hole like there is with a pool. It's filled in. You'll have a couple of feet underneath where pipes are running through, but is a more steady foundation, the minimalistic type project that we could put there to keep it a park, keep it functioning, and revitalize it, because everything around it will be new.
I have visited with my grandchildren the splash pad at Pell City. Very nice facility. Is this splash pad in Sylacauga? A lot of people say it's nothing. This splash pad is nothing. Talk about that this morning. Is it comparison to another splash pad around this area?
No, it would not be on Pell City's level.
Okay.
That was $1.3 million splash pad. Very nice. What we're doing here is kind of a phase one of getting it built. We're putting it down. We're putting the concrete and all the functioning parts and components underneath it. And the good thing about splash pad is anytime we have the extra money, or we find a part that we want that would go along with the kids playing, we could go buy it and hook it up. There's no further digging or attaching. Everything's underneath it. We could go buy any attachment at any point in time and keep building onto it. And there'll be other stuff outside. The original rendering that was put out on online and on the papers didn't do it justice. There'll be surrounding pavilions and things like that for live music, parties, hangouts, all different times. And it didn't even show the entrance. The entrance will be redone and revitalized.
So there's much more to the splash pad than what we originally saw.
Just the playing surface, I think, is what was put out there. And it honestly looked like a concrete slab. And a lot of people were like, no way. And I could see how you would see that looking at that picture if you don't know anything else. But yeah, a lot more in depth than just that.
Ashton Fowler, City Council District 1 with us this morning. A lot of people are on social media and person to person, they don't like the direction that seemingly Sylacauga is going. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, well, I've always said, and I knew what I signed up for. You're not going to make everybody happy. It doesn't matter what you do. But social media can be a great tool for marketing, for advertising, for informational purposes. It is not a platform to argue and go back and forth with, and I refuse to do so. I will not do that. I'll put my information that I know, my facts, my reasoning for voting the way I voted. You know, I have a council page aside from my personal page, Ashton Fowler City Info. Put a lot of stuff out there on that. I'll do that, but arguing back and forth, I will not. You know, you contact me, email me, call me, I'll definitely talk to you one-on-one.
You've taken some personal hits about this.
I have, you know, and it's a shame, and if people think of me that way, you know, personally, that is a shame, and I have not, you know, everybody knows my family. We've grown up here, both sides of my family, and been here a long time. I got into this, Jimmy Dale, when I was 25 years old. You know, there's a lot of 25-year-olds, and the last thing they think about...
Would you do it all over again, Ashton?
I would. You know, I came in, and we had accomplished a lot of stuff so far, but that's the last thing majority of 25-year-olds want to do is, let me go into politics, let me serve my community. And that's what I wanted to do. I'm staying here. I've stayed here, live here with my wife, kid. So, you know, I've served this community and done nothing but answered the questions that are thrown at me and given an honest response, whether they like it or not. It's why I did what I did. So, you know, for somebody to say that we're padding our pockets, we're, you know, a shame on me for doing this, you're not thinking of the town, the kids, etc., it's not the case. And I take that personally, and, you know, I shouldn't, but, you know, you're not going to attack my demeanor and my reasoning of why I'm here on the table with the other council members.
There seems to be, and you can talk about this, there seems to be some differences of opinion with the council and the mayor on these particular projects, and maybe others as well. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, and that's what makes a council and mayor a council and mayor. They're all 6, counting the mayor, from different backgrounds, different ages. You're going to have difference of opinions. You know, we've been lucky so far to kind of mesh and talk it over and agree before the actual council meeting and have all these 5-0 votes. You know, and you saw 2 meetings ago we had a 3-2 majority vote. One of the first ones I can think of in my 5.5 years here doing that, 3-2. It's going to happen. You know, that's what makes it the way it is. You know, you have different opinions. Some may not agree, but you step back from the table, look at the situation as a whole. I hear your opinion, you hear mine, and we decide as a whole which one best benefits the city. So it's going to go like that, and the mayor may not agree, council president may not agree, but if the majority agrees, then that's what we have to go with, whether it's my opinion or not.
Yeah. Is this splash pad a done deal?
Yes, it was signed back over in June of last year of 2020 to go ahead. Now materials and all that, as you know, the economy have gone up. So 2 meetings ago, you know, they announced that instead of 250, it'd be around 270 range to build.
You expect it to go higher?
Well, no, if we go ahead and get this done, I don't think so, because now the economy, the prices, at least looking at like building materials for houses and stuff, it's starting to go back down. But no, I don't see it raising anymore. But, you know, I'm not a general contractor. Yeah. But, you know, that also not going to lead you to a false pretense of that's it, 270, we're done. You have to take in the demolition factor as well, which we have a lot of demo ahead of us with the CDBG grants, with the houses, the demolishing all the 30-something houses, the potential of the Food World building, and the splash pad demolition.
The splash pad itself, is there a long-range plan as far as when we'd like to see this completed?
Yeah, so from start to finish, when they start this process,
when do you think they'll start?
Well, we were planning on starting in July, ending in August, a month long. Yeah. And everybody heard that, and I'm sure that's what they're harping on, but it didn't work out that way. We waited a little too late. The electrical room and the chemical room shared the same room. So a lot of stuff was just corrosive. All the electronics were pretty much gone, and they had to go back to the drawing board, redo a few things. So that took some change orders, some time away from it. But now we voted and we're ready to bid on this. That's what that 3-2 voting was about. So we voted to send it out to bid for demo, along with those others previously mentioned.
Lots of people are complaining about Well, you got a splash pad for a small group of people, children, particular ages. What about our adults and our seniors and people like that who would love to have a swimming pool, but yet we don't have one?
Yeah, so, that was the big topic. You're taking away our swimming pool and giving us something for kids. What are we going to do? Now, in no time and period in this whole process have I or anybody said we're not building a pool. As a matter of fact, it's been quite opposite. We've said we are building a pool. It's a one, then a two type thing, as I stated last Tuesday. We can't not have a pool. That's a vital process, even from our adults, senior adults, swim team. We have to have it, and we hadn't had it for the past 2 seasons. I know that, but we want to build one, and in the process, we want to spend. We're voted in office to spend the taxpayers of this city's money the most efficient way possible and the best way for the entire community. And we think that would be the way to put that splash pad there, minimal pricing, to keep it a LWCF grant, to keep the grant money coming in, and then in turn demo or build a bigger pool elsewhere for the whole community to enjoy.
So the splash pad itself, you think it'll be ready by next spring season or something?
Yeah, definitely. It should be ready by next spring. I mean, you're talking a month turnaround if you get in and start the demo and go. So yeah, it shouldn't be a problem next spring.
All right, that moves us to the several locations that are being talked about a facility for swimming pool and recreational facilities and that sort of thing. That takes us to the Food World's building there on Main Avenue. Is that building already been voted on to come down?
Yeah, so we looked at it, and everybody says, why are you picking the Food World facility for a pool? And we haven't. We talked about it. We did a rendering based on it a while back because that's the only city-owned property with that acreage and that's basically all we could use that facility for. So we use that, but that's what your planning commission is for. We'll give them 3, 4, however many potential properties to look at and say, here they are. You tell us which one you guys would recommend. And regardless of what we do at the Food World facility, it has to come down. I mean, it's no shape or form to remodel and go with. It's got to come down no matter what you put there. So the demo is being put out to bid, yes.
Many people, Ashton, you've heard this. It's no surprise. Many people are talking location. They think the Food World location is a bad location.
Yeah, well, everybody thinks that's a high crime rate area, okay? How many calls, you look at a caller log of some sort of the police, we get a monthly report of the police action, the calls that go out, and things like that. You look at the area that covers from burglaries, kids shaking door handles, shootings even. They're in every district across, so it doesn't matter where you put this place. The reason the Food World is a hot topic is because it's still in the downtown area. It further connects to the downtown area, to the other sports fields, the baseball, football field, soccer field. And, if you don't do anything with a place that's run down, that's the bad side of the community that always gets talked about, it's going to stay that way. You have to make a change to further this city into the future.
This location, is it among other locations that are being looked at?
Yes. So, like I said, when we get time because the demo's got to happen regardless. We have to look and gather at least 3 locations, give them to the planning commission to let them do the pros and cons, analyze, and give us feedback on those. Now, we haven't gotten that far and said, here's, we'll probably get each councilman, hey, look in your district and see if you have an area that could support a recreational center of this magnitude.
And we're talking about sometime down the road. We're not talking about tomorrow or even maybe next year. The
thing is, we have to build a pool, Jimmy Dale. Once we decided, hey, we're shutting this pool down, it's immediate. And I know Tiffany speaks on this every time is, okay, guys, we talked about before we voted, you have to agree that we're going to build a pool, and everybody's on board with that. So that's the thing. The first thing we do, whether it's we picked this spot for recreational facility. All right, first thing we're doing is we have to have a pool there.
Can a pool be a standalone, or is it?
Can.
Okay.
Yeah, we can go at it that way. That's an option to phase in a recreational facility. So if we get it going, and it comes down to March, April, May, and we have a pool built, we could stop that and keep the pool there for the swimming season and not have construction site going on right beside a pool. And then once swimming season's over, we can start back.
Do you see a pool next year?
That is the plan. Yes, that's the plan to start the building. You got to demo a facility or get a site ready if it's a vacant lot and go to work. So we have the contractors out there working, and the ones that are working in town now are an available contractor.
Another question would be, and I've heard this, and I know you've heard it many more times than me. Well, just say that we build a new facility. What happens with J. Craig Smith?
Yeah, so one thing we run into a lot of problems with J. Craig is, it's being run as a business. There's rooms to be rented out. There's the kid gym in the gym. People can't just show up and play basketball. They can't do this, that, or the other. So an option would be to keep that as is. Let them rent out those facilities for the dance classes, the etiquette classes, and all that goes on, and yet you still have a wide open arena across town, or vice versa. You keep the basketball court open at J. Craig, and you have other stuff open. Because a good thing about an idea we had with building a new recreation facility, you keep that basketball court, it could serve as a severe weather shelter at the same time, and then that's where you get FEMA involved. You get extra grant monies coming in from FEMA for a weather shelter, and it's also a basketball court.
So it would not end up, say, like the old Food World property is now?
No, it wouldn't go into delinquent status. We would definitely keep it running or make it something profitable or provide a service to the city. Because you have the senior citizen wing over there, and it's doing great. There's really nothing wrong with that. So that's something they could keep working out of there.
Church of the Highlands has their service in there every week too.
Yeah, they still have that, and that's another component. And right now there's nothing wrong the way the building's set up, and on Sundays and stuff. It's no reason they can't stay there and keep doing it.
Ashton Fowler, our guest for a couple more minutes. He's City Councilman District 1. I appreciate Ashton coming this morning. And when we look at the big picture, and we look at the challenges that, honestly, I hear and see seemingly a majority of the people that are against this move. Your thoughts?
Right. Well, a lot of misinformation spread. A lot, negativity spreads more than positivity these days, especially online. And I see it a lot where they're just carrying on conversations and it's the wrong information. Yeah. And they say, why don't you let us know? I've posted multiple 10-minute videos, all of my posts on the city website, my city informational site on Facebook, these type interviews, the ones at the city council meetings. I can't put any more factual information out there than I have. It just needs to be read and understood. And, I encourage and started out my videos with, if you have a comment or a concern, put it to the side and watch the video first and see if that comment, question, or concern is answered before you go. Because a lot of people have it in their mind, like, don't even listen to the video and say, I'm going to comment this, I'm going to question this. And they're not listening and understanding, because I may as well just answer that question in my video. So.
Does it seem, Ashton, that there is a lack of faith from the citizens of Sylacauga with the city council?
I don't think so. We've done a lot. I know my first term, we were probably one of the most proactive and active councils in the community, and we got a lot done, and it was set up from the council before us as well. So we picked up the ball and ran, and that's the idea we want to do, is keep this progression going, have something on the table so no matter who's in office next term, they pick it up like we did the first time and keep rolling with it. And that's part of a master plan that we have to get as a city. So for councils to come, they have something to work off of, pull off the shelf, and all right, this is where they left off. Let's continue with infrastructure, recreation, residential is a big thing, and putting it all together as one.
Sylacauga City Councilman Ashton Fowler, District 1, much conversation as well about the beautification projects that are going on downtown. I know council meeting met the other night and they were reassured that this was going to be finished up by the holiday season. You see that?
Yes. Matter of fact, the TAP grants they're working on, and he's actually Harry, the guy that's over them. He's done the other ones that were in front of the library and City Hall, the kind of the sidewalk and streetscape stuff. They, as you see here, they've divided the construction sites into 4 sites. Now, the 2 behind the downtown buildings, then you have one that hasn't been started on, and then the one in front of Sylacauga Glass. He reassured us that they'll all be done. They always have to, it's by law, they have to allow entry and exit way to the buildings. He has met with every business owner downtown that's affected by these the TAP grants and the reconstruction. And they've agreed and they're excited to see the progression, and he's promised to make that avenue, because really the concrete and the sidewalks, which we've expanded, are done. There's some more work on the parking lot side. And then the last thing would probably be the landscaping and lighting, which he will not need heavy equipment or multiple vehicles in the lots taking up spots. So,
as I mentioned to the mayor last week when he was on this show, once it's said and done, it's going to look really, really nice.
It is. It's going to be great. It's going to allow that road, which was it was there originally to be a service road, that one way behind them. So it's going to sort of shrink it. It's ADA compliant now. That's the big thing. Any project you have to do has to be ADA compliant. It's allowing for a lot more handicap entry and exit ways on the curbage and the ramps, and a lot more patio seating for these restaurants and boutiques and stuff to sit outside and relax and talk. And you think about all the events we host behind these places, sure, and the concerts and the stuff Sylacauga Young Professionals does. It allows a lot more scenic and easy way to venture out into these projects.
Before we go this morning, let's circle back and give you a final couple of moments to address the seemingly misinformation that you talked about a few minutes ago. How do you fix that?
You try and try again. You know, I put that factual information that I know or that I base my opinions and votes off of online, and I encourage you all to follow Ashton Fowler City Info. I get new people liking it and following it every day, and I appreciate that. And they can tell you that, you know, if there's a question, if somebody ever emails me, text, call, private message on Facebook, I answer. I get to the bottom of it if I don't know it and figure something out for them and point them in the right direction. So I encourage you to, if you hear something and the misinformation, i.e. rumors, I encourage you to find the expert on the matter. If it's something council related, come to your council member. If it's something related to street pickup, you can go find the street department and talk to them. You know, you go to the expert on the matter and find something out for sure before you just keep adding on to the fire and the rumor mill that goes around before you don't even know what the original statement was.
What does your constituents in District 1 say to you about these?
Well, there's a lot of people. You know, I have majority neighborhoods in my district made up, and the ones that reach out, because here's the thing. If they support you, they'll support you when you talk to them, but a lot of people don't just go online and say, you know, great job, I support this decision, you're doing right. They'll come to you and say, and I've had a lot of positive feedback and appreciation, and there's been negative and hey, you shouldn't do this with every decision, and this one's no different. So, you know, there's been more good than bad, I should say, coming out of this towards me. I'm going to put up with the bad and take it off the chin as it goes. That's what I'm here for. I'm always going to take the high road and be professional, so that won't faze me. But I do hear out the people that disagree, tell them my point and my view, and if it's ever the majority disagreeing, then that's what I'm going to go with. And
the people voted and elected you just as the other council and mayor, and you certainly want to be answerable to them.
Yes, I told them, and I campaigned on being transparent and being available, which I have done a very good job of. And, you know, I've got a life outside of this. I've got another job. I've got family matters, you know, but
and the city council position doesn't pay a mint every month either, does it?
I don't think so. No, you don't get in it for the money, that's for sure. So I'm available 24/7, and, you know, I answer my phone and give people what they want to know to ease their mind.
All right. Ashton Fowler, City Council District 1, our guest this morning. Ashton, thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
More Daybreak right after this.